And we have had a failure. Ground launch sequencer.
We had a problem on the dogs retract switches. NTDSC. Go ahead. Yes, sir. We need guys to go do the verification per the LCC, please. All right, CMAC.
Yes, CMAC. The LCC says we need to verify using a camera, and we're positioning camera 62 right now.
Okay, let us know as soon as 62 is swung over and you can verify LCC for GVA retract, please.
This is CMAC. We verify retracted.
All right, and STE? And NTD, STE concurs. They satisfy the requirements of GSE 13 pre-plan contingency. I am go.
Okay, I copy. And launch director.
Yes, sir. I heard all that and concur.
Press on. And GLSC, can we resume the clock on your mark?
I copy that. Countdown clock will resume on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
T-minus.
Go for auto sequence start.
Handoff to Atlantis' computers has occurred. Solid rocket booster nozzle steering check and work.
20.
Firing chain is armed.
15.
Go for main engine start. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. All three engines up and burning. 2, 1, 0, and liftoff. The final liftoff of Atlantis on the shoulders of the space shuttle. America will continue the dream.
Program, Houston.
Roger, roll, Atlantis. Houston now controlling the flight of Atlantis. The space shuttle spreads its wings one final time for the start of a sentimental journey into history. 24 seconds into the flight, roll program complete. Atlantis now heads down, wings level on the proper alignment for its 8.5-minute ride to orbit. 4.5 million pounds of hardware and humans taking aim on the International Space Station. 40 seconds into the flight, the three liquid fuel main engines throttling back to 72% of rated performance in the bucket, reducing stress on the shuttle as it goes transonic for the final time. Engines now revving up, standing by for the throttle up call.
Atlantis, go at throttle up, no action, DPDT.
Go with throttle up, no action on DPDT.
That call from Capcom Barry Wilmore, a transducer, instrumentation only, no action required. Atlantis now 15 miles in altitude, already 16 miles downrange from the Kennedy Space Center, 1 minute 40 seconds into the flight. Atlantis flexing its muscles one final time. Atlantis traveling almost 2,600 miles an hour, 21 miles in altitude, 24 miles downrange, standing by for solid rocket booster separation. Booster officer confirms staging a good solid rocket booster separation. Guidance now converging. The main engine steering the shuttle on a pinpoint path to its preliminary orbit. 2 minutes, 20 seconds into the flight. Atlantis already traveling 3,200 miles an hour, 35 miles in altitude, 50 miles downrange. Standing by for main engine cutoff. Booster officer confirms main engine cutoff. For the last time, the space shuttle's main engines have fallen silent as the shuttle slips into the final chapter of a storied 30-year adventure. Now standing by for external tank separation.
Words can't express the pride that I have in all of you and the gratitude that I have for the job that you do. This is the most outstanding group of professionals, the most dedicated launch team of technicians and engineers anywhere in the world. And the United States owes you a debt a deep debt of thanks. And I want to thank you for your service to our country. Thank you for your service to NASA and the Kennedy Space Center, to the shuttle program, and most of all, thank you for this outstanding ride that we have had for the last 30 years aboard a United States space shuttle. You guys are absolutely the best. Thank you.
Good morning, Atlantis. The Marshall Space Flight Center hopes you enjoyed your ride to orbit. We wish you a successful mission and a safe return home.
Good morning, Marshall Space Flight Center. Thanks for that great message and awesome ride to orbit. And 134 before that.
Atlantis, Houston, good config for the burn.
Copy, good config.
Flying high over the Atlantic Ocean off the west coast of Africa. We're just seconds away from this course correction burn as we watch over the shoulders of Chris Ferguson and Doug Hurley up on the flight deck of Atlantis. You could see very clearly the cannon-like jolt of those big orbital maneuvering system engines. And courtesy of space station cameras, our first view of the shuttle Atlantis.
Good burn, Atlantis. No trim required.
Copy, good burn.
Through the centerline camera in the orbiter docking system, this sequential still video view of the International Space Station.
Atlantis station on the big loop, we have you in sight. Excellent, we'll be there soon. We're waiting.
Atlantis, Houston, you are go for the RPM. Go to proceed inside 600 feet.
Houston station, Atlantis on the big loop, initiating RPM in 3, 2, 1, mark. We copy.
Houston copies.
With that, Commander Chris Ferguson now will begin the slow 3/4 of a degree per second rotational backflip. This again is about a 9-minute maneuver. You'll hear the start photography call initiated when the orbiter is in the correct orientation of this procedure. The actual R-bar pitch maneuver will last about 9 minutes in duration. About 93 seconds of available photography for Sergei Volkov, Mike Fossum, and Satoshi Furukawa.
Station Atlantis on the big loop. Start photos. Starting photos.
And with that, a period of about 93 seconds of good photography now initiated for Sergei Volkov, Mike Fossum, and Satoshi Furukawa, using digital cameras and high-powered lenses out of the Zvezda service module. The rendezvous officer indicates to Flight Director Quatziela Barujo that Commander Chris Ferguson has flown a textbook R-bar pitch maneuver. And you can see the structure of the International Space Station now coming into view as both spacecraft pass over the limb of the Earth. Atlantis coming up on the so-called V-bar, the velocity vector.
Atlantis, Houston on the big loop. The teams have been pulled in concurrence. You are go for docking.
Atlantis on the big loop, copies. Go for docking. Houston and station Atlantis on the big loop. We don't see a flyout. We're initiating final approach.
Houston copies.
Station copies.
Pilot Doug Hurley informing both station and shuttle flight control rooms that no flyout is required, meaning no additional alignment required. Commander Chris Ferguson is dead spot on with the two docking mechanisms perfectly aligned. Contact, docking confirmed. Capture confirmed at 10:07 a.m. Central Time.
Houston, station Atlantis, capture confirmed, and we see free drift.
Station Atlantis, Houston, station free drift is confirmed.
Atlantis arriving. Welcome to the International Space Station for the last time.
That's great to be here, station. We'll see you shortly.
It's good to be home on station. How's everybody?
Командир, вперед! Командир.
All right.
Командир пошел.
Big Russian hug.
Командир пошел.
Big Russian hug. How you doing, guys?
Good to see you. Hey, Doug.
Chuckster.
Теперь можно. Hey, Mike. Hello. Fine, thank you. Great to be here. Finally meeting aboard the ISS. 3 years later.
In the wake of yesterday's docking of Atlantis to the International Space Station, the heavy lifting begins, the highlight of which will be the unberthing and removal of the Raffaello multi-purpose logistics module from the cargo bay of Atlantis. Raffaello is 21.6 feet long, 15 feet wide. Fully loaded, weighs about 12.5 tons. It is equipped and supplied by 9,403 pounds of cargo that will be transferred to the International Space Station over the course of the next several days.
And Houston, Atlantis, we're starting the maneuver to unberth the MPLM.
We copy, Sandy. We're following.
And with kid gloves, Sandy Magnus at the controls of the station's robotic arm, beginning the process of unberthing Raffaello from Atlantis' cargo bay.
And Atlantis, the MPLM is unberthed. I don't know if you want to mess with the keel camera at all just to see if it's working, but if you manage to get it on, you can deactivate it.
Okay, we'll take care of that, thanks.
Yeah, on the big loop, Sandy and Satoshi, maneuver to RTL complete. Your go for first stage capture.
Hey, Houston on the big loop. We're going to pick up at 1.108. Step 1, we're ready to open the No-2 Nader hatch.
Fergie, we copy and we're good with that.
Hey, Rob, are you guys up on the Columbus camera here pointing down into the Nader No-2?
Affirmative.
Okay, so for all you guys who've worked Expedition 18, I'd like to announce the return of the socks.
We got a great view. Thanks.
Just a little nostalgia there for a moment.
We appreciate it.
STS-135 pilot Doug Hurley there, along with Sandy Magnus, moving a fairly large-size heat exchanger through the station. There's quite a bit of equipment being moved from the MPLM into the station, but also quite a bit being moved from the station back into the MPLM, as well as Atlantis' middeck. So the crew is well underway getting all of these materials and supplies transferred from one carrier to another.
This is Mission Control Houston. Spacewalk preparations continue in the equipment lock section of the Quest airlock. You see Mike Fossum slithering his way into the upper torso of his extravehicular mobility unit. Not the easiest task in the world, but with the assistance of Satoshi Furukawa on the left and Atlantis Commander Chris Ferguson on the right. Fossum is now secured in the upper torso portion of a suit, flexing his arms to make sure he's comfortable. And a good view from another camera in the Quest airlock as you watch Fossum on the right and Garin on the left flexing their legs, part of this exercise pre-breathe protocol.
The orbit checks look good. Are you guys ready?
ED1, born ready. Mike was always born ready.
Okay, you can when someone catches cover is open, you can egress the airlock ED1.
All right.
Be attaching an anchor hook to the aft external D-ring.
Ready, you ready to rock and roll? Ready to rock and roll. Let's go, buddy. Time to get to work.
We started out installing the new COLT tools, or the Contingency Operation LAPA tools, onto the backside of the pump module platform. Those went right into position. What a great team working together to get that designed. Those tools worked flawlessly. Pump module hung up just